In terms of relative power, I would certainly say that Malektih is far and away above Khazrak. That being said, today Sykov is going to try and take Khazrak to victory against Malektih. We're on full pause here just because we're on Glacial Lake. This map starts the forces extremely close to each other, especially the Beastmen Vanguard. So let's take a look at the builds before they clash. On the Dark Elf side, we've got Malektih up in the air. It looks like he's rocking just Chillwind and Soul Stealer. Very smart kit. Some Witch Elves as well, Black Ark Corsairs, front line of Dread Spears. He's got some Dread Knights as well, one on each flank, and then these Doomed Dark Riders right here. We've got some Poison Warhounds, Centaurs with Griffins, and the Regiment of Renown Throwing Axes here, the Grog Hooves, looking great with their they get a new paint scheme? Not really sure. Anyway, looking fantastic, all pale in the snow. Khazrak backed up by a Bray Shaman Lore of Beasts, looking to summon some Manticores there. Goreherd with shields. Got a couple of Razor Goreherds as well, and a Gorebolt. Going to be very important for trying to clean up Malektih. Let's see if they've maybe fixed the mass and animation issues of the Gorebolt so that he can actually face off against Malektih's dragon. I've also got some more Doomed Dark Riders over here, facing off against some more Centaurs. Great weapons, Ungor Spearmen for support. Smart to put the Spearmen out there to kind of support this mobile engagement. Ungor Spears are just so good, given that they have Vanguard and Stalk and a number of other abilities. Yeah, Khazrak technically under Tarox's faction, but definitely one of the cooler color schemes for Beastmen. The Corsair is going to get in combat in the center. Witch Elves as well will blend through those Ungor Spearmen herd in a big hurry. Khazrak dives in, a little bit risky on the Witch Elves, but certainly hasn't taken enough damage yet to enrage. Just a big frontline clash on all sides. Of course, cavalry engagements. The Warhounds do come down with some leadership issues, but the Centaurs are largely able to do decently, at least until the Dread Knights come knocking. A quick Chill Wind and a Gaze of Malice there are going to blast some of those Goreherds, and of course, the poor Ungor Spearmen, much as I extol their virtues, are obviously not going to last in an engagement like that. So Gorbolt's coming around, punching through with the Razor Goreherds, or rather the Razor Goreherds do come in, do a huge charge on Witch Elves, manage to push them back. We've also got a Summon Manticore, so although Malektih is certainly quite strong, in single entity fights, numbers almost always win, and certainly, you know, you've got the two Chariots, Gorebolt, and potentially now the Manticore that can go 4v1 on Malektih if he dives this location. Nice breath attack, though, going to take a considerable amount of HP, and then immediately just dives the Bray Shaman. So that's one way to even the odds, is just to quickly nuke one single entity, drop a nice Soul Stealer on Khazrak. I might have dropped it specifically on the Bray Shaman just to really finish him off, but still, Soul Stealer hits. But still going to be a 3v1, and certainly with Gorebolt and the Manticore involved, it's not going to be an ideal fight for Malektih. Finally, the magic effect fades there. You can actually see Gorebolt and Khazrak also taking some damage. He's not actually fighting Malektih, I don't think, but a Chill Wind there. You blast some of those Ungor Spearmen herd, try and free these spears to come support this fight. Elsewhere in the battlefield, we've got the Witch Elves getting kited by the Grog Hooves, which is certainly decent value, even if the AP is a little bit wasted there. Nice rear charge here with the Centaurs Griffins and the Dread Spears, again, just trying to break them, move away from the Dread Knights, and just let them fight those low-tier spears. Another excellent play there. Over on this other side, a little bit of overchase. Obviously, the enraged Razor Goreherds, extra mad because of the madness of Cain, are going to completely evaporate those Witch Elves, but they definitely won't be coming back. If you take a look back at the center, though, Malektih has already lost a significant amount of HP in this 2v1 fight. You know, a Manticore gets dealt with, or summon timer runs out, and then, yeah, it's not contributing anymore, but certainly Malektih and Khazrak can potentially get it done. The thing is, there's nothing here fast enough to lock Malektih on the ground. He's going to be able to get away from these two pretty consistently, not to mention the Dread Knights also coming through to heavy screen. There's still plenty of Dread Knights left to be extremely threatening to both Khazrak and Gorebolt. So, potentially bad situation here as they are suddenly isolated amongst all these Dark Elf spears, the Dread Knights and whatnot. Anyway, going to be a pretty nasty situation. Gaze of Malice goes down on the Black Horns Ravagers. Regiment of Renown Goreherds there. They're going to sweep on through. But most of the value is still concentrated here. Dark Elves still have some troops scattered around that they're going to be bringing in shortly. Some more Dread Knights just winning out eventually against those Ungor Spearmen herds. Kind of to be not necessarily super surprising, but The Centaurs do come in. They match up reasonably well. Blackhorn's Ravagers, of course, also have perfect vigor, both of which is going to be super important. The Rowdy trait being applied to both of them. Of course, it's on all Centaurs, and specifically on the Blackhorn's Ravagers, gives them, as long as they're not wavering, they've got perfect vigor. Of course, it also applies to the Groghooves as well, and the poison on their attacks now can be used to lock Malektih on the ground, debuff his speed. Significantly, his vigor is already very much debuffed. But a nice side charge here from these Dread Knights coming in. And just doing a lot of damage here. At least pushing the Groghooves away. Nice kind of tactical retreat, pull back and around, and now come around and re-engage. But during that time, a few critical hits. I wasn't really highlighting, but some decent RNG in this fight between Gorbel, and you see there, Khazrak has like a side sweep animation, and Malektih just falls straight up. One thing about the chariots for the Beastmen is they actually have a multitude of attack animations in different directions, because this time it's actually the Tuskor chariot, the lower tier chariot for Khazrak, has attack animations in the front, and then you can see he sweep attacks on both sides. So that does mean that he can actually effectively fight single entities. 92 charge bonus there, 130 armor, while he's got, his buffs active. What is that? Giving him the extra armor there. The Dark Mail, extra 30 armor in melee, with, of course, spell resistance and damage resistance. So can make him surprisingly tanky and hard to deal with. I mean, obviously, if he gets caught out, he's still going to get completely killed. But certainly, supporting the Gorbel here with the Manticore and everything else prevails against an extremely powerful Lord. So very nicely done. Big thanks to Sygakov for sending this one in on a Discord. Both Gorbel and Khazrak clean up some pretty hefty value. A lot of that comes against Malektih, but also blending through some reasonably high value infantry, probably taking down some Dread Knights as well. Excellent Centaur play as well, even on the limited space that map offers. Just a fast Vanguard right into the face. A lot of these units end up coming out pretty cost effective at the end of the day. The downside comes where the Ungor Spearmen are mostly blended up. One of them does okay though, supporting that side engagement against the Dread Knights there. Speaking of Dread Knights, kind of a mixed bag. I guess if you average the two of them, they do pay for themselves. Malektih also quite good, but the Witch Elf is just proving a little bit too squishy. I think Corsairs are generally better value. Like, I'd probably alter this mix to only maybe take one Witch Elf, switch the other two for Corsairs, and then use the extra funds. I don't know. Could almost buy another unit with that amount of extra funds, but hard to say. The Dark Riders certainly also struggled. The kind of forward vanguarding them is a little bit risky in this matchup. I might actually not vanguard them at all, just deploy with the main army. Likewise, the Dread Knights are good. It's arguable, though, maybe you should be using the anti-large regular Cold One Knights. They're pretty cost-effective. They're going to be very good in most situations in this matchup as well. And, I don't know, with the sort of the funds there, you could also maybe upgrade, maybe get one more here, perhaps. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this one, though. Relatively quick today, Beastmen versus Dark Elves, but that's how it goes with these two factions sometimes, especially on a map like Glacial Lake. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.